Thank you, and thank you to Representative Chavez-DeRemer for the good discussion we had about a month ago. You said you respect the National Labor Relations Board and want to work together with it, though they are independent. The National Labor Relations Board was created by statute, and it's the law of the land, correct?
Yes, sir.
And it was created pursuant to the National Labor Relations Act, which was also a statute and is the law of the land, correct?
Yes, sir.
Currently, the NLRB lacks a quorum because of actions of President Trump. The legality of his removal of an NLRB member is being contested in court, but the NLRB should have a quorum, shouldn't it?
Well, in order to do business, I suppose, yes.
No,
They have to have
but
a
so
quorum.
that your opinion is a president of either party or a Congress of either party should assure that the National Labor Relations Board has a quorum, correct?
Yes.
Because in the absence of a quorum, it can't do its job, correct?
That would be on its face, yes.
The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, do you believe in the notion that workers should have equal opportunities?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Do you believe in the notion that workers should have equal employment opportunities?
Absolutely.
The EEOC is an independent agency, but it deals with workers, and you said you want to put workers first. The EEOC right now lacks a quorum. The EEOC was created by statute, and it's the law of the land, correct?
Yes.
Have you ever taken the position as a congresswoman that either the NLRB or the EEOC should be defunded or eliminated?
No, not that I recall.
So since the EEOC is the law of the land and it's important that workers have equal employment opportunities, the EEOC should have a quorum to operate, correct?
Yes.
Because of actions of the president, the EEOC currently has no quorum and cannot operate to protect equal employment opportunities. But you would agree with me, similar to the discussion we had about the NLRB, that it being the law of the land, any president of either party and any Congress of either party should ensure that the EEOC has a quorum so it can protect workers, correct?
Yes.
The Department of Labor has some specific programs designed to benefit veterans. There's a couple of programs within the DOL focused on veterans' employment needs. Should you be confirmed, would you take those obligations to watch out for American veterans seriously?
Absolutely.
If you became aware that an employer, a major employer, was taking actions that disproportionately negatively affected veterans, would that concern you?
Yes.
The mass firing that President Trump is doing within the federal government right now is hitting veterans very, very hard. The civilian workforce is about 3% veteran. The federal workforce is 30% veteran. And veteran workers are also disproportionately probationary employees. The actions thus far taken by this administration are punishing American veterans badly. I live in one of the states that has the highest per capita representation of veterans. We're seeing people laid off at VA clinics. I have 2 VA clinics that are supposed to open in the next couple of months whose opening is jeopardized because of the mass firings. And even outside of the VA, the disproportionate effect of the firings to this point fall hard upon veterans. I'm happy to hear that you will take it seriously if any major employer in this country disproportionately punishes veterans. Do you know what a restrictive covenant is?
I do not.
A restrictive covenant is when an employer, as a condition of employment, makes an employee say, and if you leave, you can't work with anybody in the same industry. I'm sure you're familiar with the concept. People
Yes.
use different titles, but you're familiar with the
Yes.
concept. Do you think restrictive covenants limiting a worker's ability to choose where they want to work is anti-worker?
Well, I'm assuming you're probably also naming those as the non-competes.
Yeah.
Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah. Actually,
and-
non-compete is the better. Yes, you're
Yeah,
right.
I'm sorry
Yeah.
when I didn't recognize the other term.
Both are used, but non-compete's probably more common.
Yeah, so, and I know that that's primarily taken up by most of the state jurisdictions on whether that's their law or not their law, and that determined by that. So I think it's dependent on what the state's laws are and how they focus and
But
implement those.
if you want to put workers first, restricting their ability to find a job after they leave leave one employer, that's not putting workers first. It restrains workers. The reason I ask is that in the absence of quorum at the NLRB General Counsel has just issued a memo rescinding a previous order of the Biden administration protecting workers. Put workers first.
Thank you, Senator.
I yield.